Kia ora, Ngarangi Haerewa from the Reserve Bank of New Zealand. My pleasure to speak to Gergor, the school principal from Wellington College today. Gergor, just a bit of background around where I'm coming from in terms of our conversation today. Reserve Bank is really keen to hear about the country's views on Te Ao Māori. We're putting in a strategy, and basically our job now is to also support employment across the country to the point really where the economy doesn't break. Given those two things, how is Wellington College equipping their Māori students to become an essential part of the future labour force, as well as who are they? Who are your Māori students?
I might start with that one first. So they're diverse.
Sure.
Some are from, whakapapa to Wellington, Te Atiawa, Ngāti Toa and Ngāti Raukawa, and others are, from all around the country. And they're also from a wide range of backgrounds. So we have some, highly aspirational and quite middle class parents at a school like this. Kids that are coming with really, high expectations. And we also have some, first generation kids or kids who, if they go to university, might be the first generation of their kids. So they're a diverse, a really diverse group. In terms of how we're equipping them, well, we're trying to be really deliberate about what we're doing. So we're trying to be really clear about who these kids are. We're trying to be clear about what their aspirations are. We're trying to work closely with whānau. We're also trying to create an environment here where they feel really good about being here and being Māori here. Sure. So that involves a significant change for us next year, where all our Year 9 students will be studying Te Reo Māori. Awesome. So that tikanga and te reo are things that are valued by all. So those are really sort of important, things to us.
In terms of Wellington College's teaching method, you've touched on a couple, doing te reo and tikanga. Yeah. I mean, what else is Wellington College doing for their Māori students to prepare them to go into sustainable jobs in future?
Yeah. Well, I mean, we do a lot of stuff that all schools do in terms of, careers, in terms of providing role models for people that are working in that space. But, I've got a really big focus on our Māori kids getting UE. I think that while it's not necessary for all our kids to go to university, university entrance does indicate a coherence of thinking at level 3, NCA level 3. One of the things that worries me a little bit around what's happened with Māori student achievement in New Zealand is I think we've tracked it, through the Heke Parata era. We tracked it really hard. We put a lot of interventions in to lift Māori student achievement. We saw some real gains nationally in terms of NCA level 3, but not as many gains as students getting university entrance. And I think that university entrance is a qualification that shows that kids can break down knowledge and think. And I think in terms of the future workforce, it's not the content that we need kids to have. We know they'll be able to access the content. Right. It's what do they do with it? Sure. And disciplines like history and maths and English literature and science break down knowledge and give kids frameworks. So I think it's really important that we look deeply at Māori student achievement, and we don't just look at pass rates, but we look at the coherence of the set of qualifications and learning that they've got, so they can take disciplinary thinking into whatever world they end up in, solve problems.
Well, given then your obviously vast experience with educating in the background, what's kind of, if you have any commentary on the educational sector at large or even society at large, what improvements could be made to better support those Māori students going into the labour force?
Well, I think we need all our kids to be able to have those, soft skills, those relational skills, but also a sense of gravitas and belief. This is less of an apprentice era and more of a going into a workforce and having to contribute to the problem solving and decision making at a high level right from the beginning. So I think that's something that we can do, and I think there's no doubt that the relationships between the teachers and the students are really, really important in that. Gone is the day where a teacher can stand back and go, I just treat all my kids the same. We need our teachers to know about those kids, know about their aspirations, and help them develop pathways to get to that. But we shouldn't lose community in that. And I think sometimes all our solutions seem to be individual. So how do we measure this kid's well-being, or what's the situation for this kid? And we need to link that into a wider sense of community and us all feeling like we're part of that kid's journey.
Sure. Maybe just one final comment and question, just to kind of show the juxtaposition between Wellington College and the Reserve Bank. We obviously like to talk about skilled labour a lot, and for us that comes with a number of indicators. For you, what does a skilled employee, or at least a skilled student going into the labour force look like? What are you trying to give them in terms of skills?
Look, all I can go back to with any question like that is our school values, which guide us. And at the school we talk about our core values. So the first one is community, that there is an outward looking, that there's a sense that it's not just about you, that you're part of a network, that we take skills to serve. The second, the O, is oranga, or well-being. So that sense that you are well, that you are confident, that you have gravitas, but that you care for others. The first L stands for learning together. So that idea of ako, that idea that we don't just learn and we're masters, that we are on an ongoing learning journey. And then finally, we want our kids to be leaders. And we want them to be able to leave the school, and both in public and in private ways, we hope that they will be able to make good leadership decisions, which might be living out those values. Or it might be more traditionally being out the front and innovating around new ideas. But that's what we're about, and I think they would serve the economy pretty well too.
Sure. Well, hey, that's all we need here from the Reserve Bank, but really good to hear all
So
your
nice
thoughts.
to meet you.
Yeah, likewise. But we'll take that and obviously go away and do our thing, but it's really good to hear the thoughts, Gergor, and would like to do it more in the future.
Awesome.
As well.
Come again. Thanks, Ngarangi.
No problem at all.
Okay. Ka kite.
Bye.